Okay, so we're going to start solving quadratics by taking the square root. So the equation I picked was negative 5 minus 10v squared equals negative 95. So we add 5 on each side, leaving negative 10v squared equals 90. So divide each side by negative 10, so that leaves you with v squared and 9. So after that, we want to square root both sides, so that leaves us with v and 3. So quadratics always have two answers, so this one it is negative 3 or positive 3. So in this next equation, we will be solving quadratics by factoring. So our equation is k squared minus 15 minus 8k. So basically we want the equation to equal 0, so that would be k squared plus 8k plus 15. So we want to figure out what adds to be 8 and what multiplies to be 15. That is 5 and 3, because that adds to be 8 and multiplies to be 15. That makes it k plus 5 and k plus 3. So our numbers are negative 5 and negative 3 because we take the 5 and the 3 out of the parentheses, so that changes the sign. Alright, now it's time to solve quadratics by completing the square. Our equation is r squared minus 14r minus 35 minus 7. So that leaves us with r squared minus 14r, and basically what we want to do is we want to divide negative 14r by 2, and that leaves us with negative 7, and then we double that, so that leaves us with 49. So we put 49 plus 49 in that place that we left for it. That equals 28 because 35 minus 7 is 28. And so next we add 49 to each side, and that leaves us with r minus 7 squared equals 77. And so what we want to do is we want to square root both sides, so that leaves us with plus or minus r minus 7 equals square root of 77. Okay, so in this last problem we're going to solve with the quadratic formula. So we want that to equal 0, so we do n squared minus 3n minus 88 equals 0. Okay, so a is 1, b is negative 3, and c is negative 88. So we need to plug those three numbers into the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Alright, so that is negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 1 and times negative 88. That's all over 2 times negative 1. I mean positive 1. So we want to simplify that, so that equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 9, and that's plus, and you don't do the 1, so it's a positive 352 all over 2. And so we need to figure out what 9 plus 352 is. And so that answer would be 3 plus or minus the square root of 361 over 2. So the next step is to plug that into your calculator. 3 plus the square root of 361 over 2. and that equals 11, and then you have to do 3 minus the square root of 361 over 2. And that answer is -8. So those are your answers, 11 and -8.